Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another episode of Kopi With Wawan. It's a series that I started because I wanted to discuss topics that I find interesting, from like films to pop culture, music, and everything else in between. Now this is a special episode where it's in collaboration with the Skinny Bakers, Latte Alligator, and Zee Avi. Now Skinny Bakers is an awesome company which sells cookies such as the movie theater caramel popcorn, and of course we have, the typical classic chocolate chip cookies. You can't go wrong with that. Latte Alligator, on the other hand, they produce really awesome and inspiring artwork like you can see over here. So if you guys want to find out more about our two collaborators, all of it's in the description box below. Just have a look and you'll find out more about them. Now the theme of this episode is on the song by Zee Avi, which is called Who Are You? Now the song is all about us embracing ourselves, our individuality and everything that's unique about us. So it's an awesome song. If you guys haven't heard it yet, please check it out in the description box below, because otherwise I'm going to be singing it here out loud and you guys don't want that.
Now, as we wrap up the Who Are You series, today's special guest is the person who wrote the song, the super talented Zee Avi. She is an amazing singer-songwriter and the glue that brought everyone together in the music video. Now, some of the amazing achievements under her belt is when she won her first international awards at the 53rd Taipei Golden Horse Film Festival and Awards for the song Arena Cahaya. In this interview, we discuss her inspirations for the song, and as we enter a new decade, we discuss things such as what does it mean for one to embrace their own authenticity and uniqueness in our ever-changing world. This episode is shot on location at the Skinny Bakers Subanjaya, where you can indulge in some really awesome cookies. This is episode 7 of the Who Are You series with Zee Avi. Zee, can you please, for the audience sake and myself, right, give us a bit of your background as to how you started out in the music industry?
I started on YouTube back in 2006, and at the time YouTube wasn't a household name yet. So it wasn't even like a thing where I would ever expect it to amount to something. In fact, I just did it in secret. I didn't even tell my friends or my family that I was writing songs, and my videos at the time was just half of my face. So I kind of did it anonymously because that was sort of my signature, I guess, at the time as a YouTuber. So I was aware that at the time YouTube was more of a visual outlet, but because I was going on there to sing, I was kind of, wanting the audience to focus on the content and the words of the song. At the time, I went by Coco Kaina.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Coco Kaina. Your alter ego.
Coco Kaina was it was the start of it all. And he, I guess, created this world.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you're living in right now.
I'm living in Coco Kaina's world.
Coco Kaina's world.
Yeah,
oh my goodness,
yeah.
That sounds so interesting.
I miss her actually.
You miss her? Now you're talking about her as though you and her are two separate individuals.
Well, sometimes it does feel like that, when you are a person who is just delivering art, right, so to speak. It's Coco Kaina created this very safe space for me as a songwriter, me as Izian, me as Zee, and all of us just come together and have a powwow and discussion about what is going on in our life, and then kind of work together in putting it out into words and song.
No, it makes sense. Okay, so here's the thing now. This is so interesting.
You want Zee Avi, you get Zee Avi.
This is super interesting, okay, because I've actually read about this now, where talking about advice and stuff, a lot of people are going through struggles of how do I do this, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And one advice I've heard was create an alter ego, or just imagine you as somebody else who can make those things happen.
Right.
You're probably the first person I know who actually just did it. And you didn't read it off an article or it was just something you were
No, I mean, at the time I didn't even think I was actually a good singer.
What?
Because at the time
that is crazy,
we didn't have any sort of reference to kind of look for. During the surge of the American Idol and things like that, where they had a certain standard of what a good voice is. But I had stories to tell in a way that I wanted to tell it.
Right.
So I guess for my stories, it really suit my voice, and my voice suit the stories to be delivered the way that it did. I just wanted to write songs. I didn't have it as a marketing tool or anything like that. Like I said, I didn't even tell my family or friends about it. It was more what I did in secret at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning, you were just out pouring your heart out.
Yeah. I would write maybe 7 songs.
7 songs?
Night. Yeah.
7 songs at night?
Yeah.
How
So
does that
I would go to sleep when the birds start singing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, that is insane. You writing all these songs, right? You know, the current song that we're discussing in this series is your latest one, which is Who Are You? Okay, so I find it that, you know, you brought up Coco, Kaina, apa semua, and what were you, you know, with the song, was it also you dealing with like your own identity ke? Atau what was like the inspiration behind?
Yeah, I think the song is also kind of like a tongue-in-cheek to anyone who's ever kind of doubted you and, you know, your journey into finding yourself. No, because it's like very easy for people to say, be yourself, just be yourself.
What does that mean?
And it's like, it's not that easy for some people, you know? To be yourself is a journey. And sometimes you even ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? You know? And it doesn't help that other people are also kind of, you know, adding on to that doubt.
Yeah.
And so the song is, you know, in a way play on tone of like you asking the same question to the mirror.
Right.
And you like asking people around you like, who are you to tell me?
Kau siapa?
Like, kau siapa?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
sekarang macam like,
Yeah.
it's hard enough. Like, I'm dealing with that too. But it's also anthem for me.
I see.
You know, personally, like any songs that's of comfort is actually a song that I write to kind of alleviate my own personal, you know, like obstacles for my own growth.
I
Yeah.
just want to hear your thoughts on this, right? Because you mentioned that people are also trying to tell us who we are, and it's really difficult for us to figure it out
Right.
by ourselves. Right? But why do you think people have that need to tell us or to say, "Oh, this is the way you are," you know? And they say it with so much like as though like it's fact and like full stop, not even like a discussion.
Well, it's just very natural for humans to say all these things, and sometimes they mask it. Sometimes they do have really good intentions, right? Into being like, hey, this is what we see of
Right.
you right now.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also projecting what is going on in their own lives. The need is very, very human. It's very natural, whether or not it comes from a good place.
I see.
Yeah,
I see,
because
I see.
people would always want to have the upper hand of telling you that you're wrong,
I'm right.
you're different,
Yeah.
you're being weird, or you are weird. You know what I mean? And
yes,
I've gone
yes.
through all of that because,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
like my growth is, you know, very out in the open.
Right,
My
right.
journey is very out in the open. And, you know, people know when I sound different. People know when I dress different.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, in a way, it's like all these voices, they come together and
And
just
they just
really
wanna-
sort
yeah.
of make you doubt yourself
Yep.
as a person.
Okay.
And your, you know, strength and courage to actually want to get to a place where you'll be happy with finding the balance to actually be yourself
Right.
eventually.
Right.
It's like people always have something to say.
They do. They do.
But they don't understand that, you know, sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's right. That is correct.
So this
yeah.
song is also like you telling that voice inside of your head that makes you doubt yourself as well. So there's many different
Oh
layers.
my goodness. Okay. Like,
Right.
how long it took you to write a song like this with like this kind of layers?
Are you ready for
I'm
this?
ready for this one. Yeah.
Half an hour.
No way. No way. How? Like.
I was in LA
Okay.
and I was waiting for my friends to come pick me up for dinner, but they were late.
Okay.
And so I fired up GarageBand.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to do this.
Right.
And I wrote the song.
Wow.
And then they were like, hey, we're on our way.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm writing. And they're like, okay, so you're in the zone? And I'm like, yes. And like, okay, can't wait to hear it. See you tomorrow. Which is nice to have
Okay.
friends who are chill and who know,
Who
like,
knows
you know,
and
like
they
your
understand.
artistic process. And
I
things
see,
like
see,
that.
see. And that's really difficult. That's really difficult to find friends.
It's
who
very
understand
difficult
that,
to
yeah.
find those, you know, like good people are hard to find.
They are very difficult to find.
Yeah, especially
Yes, I
people
agree
who
with
have
that.
a crazy artist friend like me.
Oh, okay, okay, I see. So here's the thing, though. Do you think your secret years of working on your craft, it actually helped you develop a certain sense of identity first before anything else?
I mean,
Before
that also-
yeah,
Secret years.
secret years. Like,
Yeah,
you
that
know, if
went
you
on
had
for maybe about 6 months.
secret years. 6 months.
Yeah, secret months.
Okay, secret 6 months. Then.
Yeah, but I was very young at the time. I was 22 when I started writing and actually singing and finding my own voice. I mean, you know, like to me as an artist, I'm still constantly learning because I'm always evolving and therefore my sound will evolve along with me. I always say, like, you know, you have to be more afraid of staying the same.
Why do you think that's important for us to change and not stay the same? And why are we always so keen on like staying the way that we are?
I think, you know, if you're comfortable with staying the way you are, if you've worked hard enough for you to achieve, you know, that level of contentment into, you know, with being who you are, then by all means, you know, stay that way because you've worked hard on that journey.
Sure, yeah.
However, you know, like for me personally, I am very hypersensitive to my surroundings and people, my experiences. And I always try to find essence of what I can learn in certain situations that I'm given. There's always like, you know, new knowledge and new wisdom to learn with every moment. And that is what I take with me into my growth. You know, I'm a student among students.
So your music video featured quite like, you know, a diverse group of individuals in it.
Yeah, they're all so beautiful.
Yes. Did you have like a hand in like picking them up or?
I did.
You did?
I was very specific about, you know, like what type of people that I wanted to be featured in there.
Okay.
I wanted young people who've gone through adversity successfully, you know, yang pernah kena kecam dalam media or the press or had any negative views, but they just held on to that torch and led the way and paved the way for a lot of people to find that, you know, like, hey, I'm here and you can relate to my story.
Your stories, right?
So at the time, like, you know, I just got back from Malaysia, so I had the help of the director for the video, Hafriz. You know, he's kind of like a young person in the scene as well, so he knows like a lot of influencers as well.
Okay.
Because he is one too. Like, you know, he gave me a list. This is who, this is who, this is who, along with pictures. And like we just really sat down and I really listened to their story based on what he tells me. And I was like, great, like I think we have our star. But out of like the whole list, there were maybe about 30 something. And we were maybe expecting about 10 to 15 people.
Oh wow.
But all of them showed up.
Oh really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Which was so darling of all of them. So nice. The production crew also contributed.
Really?
Yes,
oh, that was really
out of
nice
passion.
Of them. That was really nice of them. Okay.
So I'm really thankful for all those people. I'm really happy with how the video came out.
Right, it was a really good music video.
Proud.
So was there any of the stories that you personally felt connected to you the most among them, the list? I mean, I'm sure you related to all of them because that was why you picked them.
Yeah, I think there's not just one that I relate to. Like each of them have elements of what I have felt.
I see.
And what I still do feel.
I see.
And they inspire me. Like Nalisa Amin.
Right.
She inspires me.
Yeah.
You know, Alicia, Sonia.
Yep.
You know, Melinda Lui inspires me because of her strength and how she is like with her leader. I can call her my friend now, and I've seen how she's like with, you know, her employees and people that she works with. And she's super positive. My friend Santosh is in it as well. He's so special. He plays percussions in my band as well.
Oh, nice.
He's also an amazing, talented artist in his own way.
Nice.
My friend Alena, you know, who's a pioneer.
Right. She's
female sape player.
Sape player. You're originally from Miri,
yes.
Sarawak itself.
Yes. Borneo Pride.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get a bit more into that after our short break.
Okay.
And we're back with the awesome Zee Avi. Alright, so Zee, you're from...
Wawancara bersama Wawan.
You just had to add that. Oh my god, so embarrassing. Okay, so you're from Miri, Sarawak, right?
Yes, I am. Lutong, what's up?
So you grew up there, or did you move to KL at one point?
I grew up in Sarawak until I was 12.
Okay.
And then I moved to KL back in 1998.
98, right.
So I spent Form 1 until A-levels here. Yeah, so maybe about 6 years?
In KL?
Yeah, 6 years in KL. And then I went to London to study.
Ah, nice.
I was there for about 3 years. And then I came back, and then the music thing happened, and then I moved to the States.
Okay.
So I've been in the States longer than I have been anywhere else.
How long were you in the States for?
Just a little over 10 years.
Oh wow, that is a long time.
Yeah.
That is a long time.
I was in LA I was paying rent for 8 months, but I was on tour a lot, so
I see.
I was only in LA
see.
the first time for 3 months, and then I moved to New York
Okay.
for about 3 years,
Okay.
and then I moved back to LA.
We're in LA, remaining all the time. Okay, that's just pretty intense, right? To me, you've lived in all these different countries in your
Yeah.
life. Even in the US, you're on tour most of the time, so
Yeah.
you're just on the road.
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be, how do you find that grounding, the sense of self? Because a lot of us, we tend to put our identity and the place we're from as one of the same,
Yeah.
So, for you, how do you define that for yourself, Like, who is Zee Avi after traveling around
I think Zee Avi is ever changing, but my roots will always be in Borneo.
in Borneo, right?
Yeah, but I think for me, as a person who enjoys traveling, for me when I travel, I like to explore people. I like to know like what makes the land. When I travel somewhere, I like to get to know the locals, the natives,
Okay.
and really sort of like get a handle of how their culture is like, how their perspective is like. You just have to keep an open mind and an open heart. Also, with your identity as
Yes,
well.
yeah,
like
yeah.
you don't, why should you try to limit yourself?
Yeah.
Right?
You still view yourself as Malaysian?
My passport is still red.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
my favorite food is the ulam belacan.
Nice.
So
Nice,
I think
nice.
that's as Malaysian as I can get.
Yeah, yeah.
And furthermore, I'm from Sarawak. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right,
like I'm
yeah.
from like a small beach town
Okay.
of Miri,
Nice.
oil town.
All time. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm pretty grateful to be able to, like have education abroad, and also pretty grateful to allow myself to discover and explore more
About yourself.
of other,
and, like, other people.
from other people, like from other people that I experience and I meet, and then I just sort of apply that openness to myself. Because what happens a lot of times kan, kalau macam like you dengar cerita like Malaysians when they study abroad, and then they just stick to themselves, and I think like that sort of creates a macam boundary for you to really try to like go out and like have your experiences.
Right. Yeah.
You still can
Yeah.
do that and keep true to your customs, your traditions,
Yeah.
your beliefs. But I think like hearing other people's stories and not having sort of like sense of judgment of other people, then you can like definitely, are able to gain so much more knowledge about how other people outside of your world live.
Yeah.
But I think now like young Malaysians who go abroad, they go full on and like really sort of go out there and experience and go travel, like
Yeah.
times are very different now, especially
true,
because of
it's true.
social media kan.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of seeing young Malaysians do that, because during my time it was a little bit different. We still had a little bit of like macam
Reservations. Probably?
yeah. Tapi now like young Malaysians who go abroad and study and they come back and they bring like so much fresh ideas, and they get like a better handle of who they are,
Yes,
but
yeah.
still keep true to their roots.
And that's such a difficult balance, I think, to kind of like strike. And which a lot of people either they go one way or the other. Like you said, on one hand, some people they're so close and they don't want to experience outside culture because they're scared that they lose their roots. And then you do have the other side who almost like lose that sense of Malaysian, or like macam they completely forget their Asian roots, or they're embarrassed about it.
But
and I like seeing you carrying best of both worlds.
yeah,
Stuff like
because
that.
it can be done, and the thing is, it's like, who are we to say that they've lost their Malaysian roots? Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like, macam, who are we to say that about them?
Right,
You know,
yeah.
macam like you want to go out there and you want to apply different things that speak to you as a person, and you like it and you follow it, and you're not hurting anyone. By all means, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Like, peduli apa orang cakap? Because I've had that before.
People actually
Like
say
people
that,
say like, oh, like you're not Malaysian enough. Like, are you doing this to prove you're more Malaysian? And I'm like, why should I prove to anyone that I'm more? How do you prove you're more Malaysian? What do you have to
What
do?
does that even mean?
What does that
Yeah,
even
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But the thing is, like, they want us to go out.
Yeah.
They want us to like carry the Malaysian name.
Yeah.
But in order for us to do that, like, we have to experience and gain knowledge in the way we know how.
Yeah.
Yes, like there is some things that people are like, oh, they macam like too much Western culture, we have to bring back like Malaysian culture, but the world is progressing and we can't fight progress. The only way we can do is to integrate with it, but still keep true to ourselves.
I love that.
Gitu.
Yeah.
Find that balance.
Find that balance.
Yeah.
So what was, you think, one of your biggest struggle when you were away from home then, in that 10 years in the US?
Food.
Oh, really? If anybody doubt that you're Malaysian now, I think all doubt should be removed. Like,
Yeah. Susah tang nak cari kangkung belacan, all of that.
okay, that's fair. And you were on the road a lot.
I was on the
It
road
like,
a lot,
okay.
and there's like highway, like American highways. It's nothing but like fast food, man. I'll tell you that. Yeah, but at the time doing what I did, I couldn't afford to miss home too much
That's fair.
because I had to like remain present and sort of like live in that moment,
Okay.
fully.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So even though dekat belakang, I'm like, man, I wish I can have some like sauce chili with my fries, but I'll deal with ketchup. It's fine.
Ketchup will do, yeah? Ketchup will do. Okay, going back to just macam like your music and stuff, right? Did you have like a theme song growing up, you think? Yeah. If there was a theme
Wow.
song of your childhood, yeah.
See, that changes all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it changes all the time. From when I was a kid,
Hmm.
well, I remember my first theme song was Que Sera Sera. Like when I was 6 years old, like
Right.
Que Sera Sera, whatever will be, will be.
Nice.
The future's not ours to see. Que Sera Sera. And I think like it still applies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
what-
go
what?
with the flow.
Go with the flow, eh? So that's like your big like philosophy.
Actually,
like,
yeah, I'm a
yeah.
floater.
Floater.
I just float.
Okay, so what?
I'm a
yeah.
sailor, I
Sailor,
think.
yes,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. So you view yourself as a sailor.
Yes,
who
and I've like sailed very like uncharted waters.
I would like imagine so.
But it's the fun part about life.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? We're talking about uncharted waters. What for you at this point of time? If you look back, you think back, you're like, oh crap! I can't believe that I sailed that water.
I think like the whole musical journey. Like I first of all I didn't think like I would be good enough to like be on that ship. And then now I'm like, captaining that ship. I'm captain, I'm co-captain, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So, but sometimes, like, I love to santai, and sometimes you just kind of lose sight of the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you call it on the ship.
Steering wheel.
Steering wheel, kan?
The ni, I think both of us probably need to educate ourselves on that.
Yeah, but also I think like navigating my own sense of self is also like quite thunderous sometimes, very stormy waters as well. I'm being honest.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I think like knowing yourself is one of the biggest journeys,
Of course. Yeah.
really.
Now that you're mentioning that, right? Do you think when you write your songs, it's really more, you can play music, you can express yourself artistically? Is it because you know yourself, or is it because you want to know yourself?
A bit of both. Yeah, like you write from how you know yourself, but then when you write it down, you're like, oh, in my songs, I've created this world where if you read the lyrics, it's actually quite heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then but I paired it
Yeah.
with, a sense of hopefulness.
Okay, so here's the thing though. We're talking about heavy. You wrote this song called Madness. I looked at the lyrics and I'm just thinking like,
Apa benda ni?
it's so heavy, yeah. Macam like even Poppy has like a very dark theme to it.
Yeah,
but
Poppy is dark.
It is very dark, so
Darkest one, I would say.
that was the first one, just getting that out.
And
yeah,
that's the first song I ever wrote.
But then you wrote stuff like Arina Cahaya, like Who Are You? And there's always, like you said, a sense of hope and upbeatness to it. Is that done on purpose? Like, do you feel like you're responsible to give people hope as much as you're talking about the dark stuff of life?
I think that's just how I am as a person. I think in order for you to know the good, you have to know the bad. In order for you to know the light, you have to know the dark. So I always sort of like make it a point to acknowledge any obstacles that you go through in life, but I also make it a point to leave a message in my songs that is like, hey, things happen, but there's always a light on the other side.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So is that like, your whole life is based on that, like there's a light on the other side? Of like
Yeah,
the stuff that you go through?
sad and angry girl.
So here's the thing though. You and I both like grew up probably in the 90s before social media. time and all that.
Oh, those such good times.
Good
wasn't
times,
it?
right? It was good times. But even then,
You can mess up and nobody will know.
It's true. It's so true. Because now we're all just like
Under a microscope.
and it's natural for us to want to share stuff on social media.
Yeah.
So my question would be: do you think that right now young people are struggling to find themselves even harder because? As much as there's so much good that has come from social media, but there is of course the bad that comes with it too. Do you think that is what are your thoughts on that? How real is that?
I think one of the main negative outcomes of social media is comparing yourself with what you see, whom you see, which lifestyle you see. I can't remember where I heard it or I saw it on a quote somewhere on social media.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but it says, keep your eye on your own paper. Your own life is your own test. Everybody has different timings and different paces of how they learn things. We all learn the same lessons, but it's just a matter of when we learn them. So take your time, don't compare yourself to others, because behind those perfect visco pictures, there's another story behind there, everybody.
There's a lot of struggle.
Yeah,
But
try to be more intentional with what you post. You read about haters saying things like the more craziest things. I'm like, wow, how did you, were you thinking? Maybe not. Maybe you weren't thinking, when you wrote that. But the thing is, kalau you fikir, in the future, right, especially when people macam kecam other people for whatever physicalities they have or whatever, right? In the future, kalau you ada anak you are going through the same thing, maybe one day they pergi dekat Google and they search nama you. Right. And you're the dad or you're the mom. Then they see macam, oh my gosh, in the past, my mom or my dad were the same people that's making my life hard. And to me, that thought, I sail jauh. To me, that thought would really break my heart if my child were to see that I was not a nice person in the past, So macam try to be more intentional, something good. But I think social media is also, I met so many people through social media.
Yep.
They brought me some really, really good people as well. You just have to kind of use it right.
So okay, just so we just got a few more things, before we wrap up the episode right now. So I just wanna ask you, right, when it comes to musical taste, do you think you know a lot about a person just based on their playlist?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really? Yeah?
For sure.
Okay.
I don't know if you can tell a lot about me because my playlist is all over the place.
Right.
Has everything from classical to 60s, 70s folk and psychedelic rock and classic rock and punk and jazz, just all across the board. But, music is an extension of who you are. It's a way to express yourself without using words. So for sure, you can definitely tell a lot about a person. I can tell a lot about a person based on which songs of mine they like.
So let's just say if somebody were to say their favorite song by you was something like Poppy or Madness, what does that say? What you think?
Oh, I would know that they are people who pay attention to words.
Okay.
To lyrics. Yeah.
Are they rare today, do you think? People who pay attention to music, to lyrics? It's I remember there was a time I would send song lyrics to people and there would be some okay, what is so-and-so trying to say here? But now...
Oh, you did that?
I don't know. I remember that. Oh, come on, can't try that. Okay. So it wasn't just me, my circle. I remember people would share around songs and stuff. Yeah. And
Can I subscribe?
But this was MSN days.
I love MSN. ICQ, MSN. Oh.
That was a time, right?
MSN reminds me of the time when I used to have crushes on boys, and then they would ding sign in.
Get excited.
And then I was away.
Huh? Oh, jual mahal lah.
That's
I see.
Hey, what's up?
Now I know. Now I used to wonder.
But last time we used to say be right back.
Yes.
Now we don't say that because we live in the internet now, guys. Yeah. We're in it.
Yeah, we're stuck.
That be right back.
No, we're forever. We're like in the Matrix now.
Yes, so you were saying you would send lyrics to your friends.
And then you would have people trying to understand what the song was about. I remember there used to be a discussion on song. I don't know whether it's times have changed or it's an age thing where most of the people I know don't have time to discuss meanings of songs. But I feel like personally, like, there's just that shift.
There's shifts of writing as well. A lot of words are quite repetitive now, and perhaps they are, all saying maybe the same thing in 5 different ways. But in the end of the day, like, all songs are about love.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
Like, even like gangster rap songs.
Right.
But I feel like when I was starting, like doing back in my day, at the time, like folk music was, like that was the thing. So you had like, the Bon Ivers, the Feist, the Regina Spektors, the Fiona Apple.
Yeah, Fiona Apple. Yeah, exactly.
Tori Amos,
Yes.
And I really liked it because at the time, like, it was a good time for poetry.
Yep.
Because all the songs had flair, very introspective. It was very personal, very colorful also. And yeah, it was a good time. And at the time, like the Strokes were also big, like the White Stripes were also big.
Yeah.
Indie rock was like at a high. Such a good time, But music recycles.
Yeah. So you think it's more of a recycling thing rather than like people today are like less authentic or like...
It's a mix of all.
It's a mix of everything,
I'm not, as somebody in the industry, like I'm not going to try to say anything that would like...
I understand.
Yeah, but I feel like, there are certain music that some music that I can no longer connect with.
Yeah.
That I don't connect with at all, especially because like the beats are also the same. Which are, this one they played just now, right? No, different song. Oh, okay.
No, I see that. And then like, my sister looks at me like, you're old. She gives me this look. Like, I'm like, I don't know the difference between any of them. I'm like, am I old?
I just know the different dancers.
The dancers, yes, okay. That's really cool.
I gotta stand up to it. But like I have a 17-year-old brother. And he cringes every time I try to attempt any of like the new
young
TikTok dances.
TikTok. Yes. I have a lot of friends who's like, apa TikTok? What is TikTok? I'm like, guys, like, like, I know.
Last time I macam like, apa benda TikTok ni? Sekarang ni I macam layan.
So you're on it now lah. So it's like, it's fun. TikTok, Alright. Just to, going back to again, people struggling to find themselves, right? If you were to give advice to somebody out there who just feels like, I'm lost, I don't know what's next or what am I going to do?
It's all a part of the process.
Ooh. It's that simple, huh?
It's that simple. Just embrace it. It's all a part of the process.
So just accept it?
Accept it, but, I saw a quote the other day, again, on social media. I can't remember who it's by though, but the person said like, if you ever feel like you're in hell, keep going. Why would you want to stay in hell?
Wow.
So if you feel like you're lost, which I have many times, because we are always in transition. Even our skin renews itself every certain amount of time. So does our soul, so does our spirit, so does our mentality, our emotions, our sense of spirituality. Like, we all go through cycles. So it's like a butterfly, right? Caterpillar, cocoon, then butterfly. Like, we go through this process every time we hit that cycle. So trust it, like I have a lot of friends say, I'm going through a block. It's not, it's just your resting period for you to find your next voice. Like, I feel lost. It's like, you're not, you're just, like you're rerouting yourself. It's all a part of growth. So don't worry about it, like it will get better. And also, anyone who says they found themselves, don't be friends with that person. Because that is a never-ending journey. No one really finds himself. People find balance. Because finding yourself, again, like...
It's a lifelong journey.
It's a lifelong journey. Again, if you believe in next lifetimes, that you're going to do that over again next lifetime. To be a part of this human journey, it's all just play. Life is like, you want to look at it as a playground, right? It's all about perspectives, really. Each and every single moment is a decision that you make.
Right.
Every single emotion that you choose to have is a decision that you make. So if you're feeling like you're lost, you can switch that perception, that perspective, and just say like, I'm just taking a break right now from my class. as a student.
That is beautiful.
Panjang juga lah.
Panjang lah. No, but it's good. It's
but
good.
I have to say,
yeah,
because I go through that all the time. And, you know, like for young people to go through it, it's absolutely natural, guys. Absolutely natural.
Yeah. So no, I think it's good, and like, you know, it's inspiring as well for anybody out there to know. Even somebody like you, it's very normal, and like, you know, and I guess it's because you've embraced it. It's you know, the reason why you are where you are right now, I suppose, right? So, you know, okay, if you had to describe yourself right now in one word, you know, what word would it be? So
Entah.
Malay for don't know.
It's like, okay, so a hyphen is like one word, right?
Okay.
Ever learning.
Okay, goes back to that lah, you know.
Yeah.
So it's all again
ongoing.
We're a process.
Yeah.
Then, like, you know, above everything
Work
else.
in progress.
Alright, cool. Thank you, Zee,
Thank you so much. Terima kasih. Semoga murah rezeki.
Thank you. It's such an honor to have you here. And guys, again, if you haven't, you know, listened to the song "Who Are You," you should listen to it. It's all in the link below. Yeah, so we're gonna close the show right now. Thank you guys for being with us, and we shall see you guys on the next round. Maybe.
Hilang skrip.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi guys, the series of podcasts was brought to you by collaboration between me and the Skinny Bakers. It's to promote positivity and love for yourself, and also delicious cookies. So who doesn't like music and cookies, right? Don't forget to check out Skinny Bakers with their new flavors, French butter cookies, sea salt pistachio, their bestseller salted caramel chocolate chip cookies, and my personal favorite right now, fruity pebbles. But hang on tight, guys, because Skinny Bakers and I are going to come up with our own special flavor that's coming soon. So watch this space. Alright, till then, see you guys.